The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
TBS, America's #1 independent television network, presents the following sports exclusive.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
and this is Andy, and you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
That's almost accurate. It's just Greg and Zach at this point. Mike should be here shortly, and Andy will not be with us tonight. So enjoy a revival of Basically a Football Show for a little while.
And somehow in this third week of March, we still have plenty of football to talk about, which is,
oh boy,
par for the course.
My Cleveland Browns. Man, I don't even know what to say about it. But before we get to that, just remind everyone we've got the Final Four. The GTOV is set. We'll get to that in a little while and all the other stuff. But I think this is the news of the week, right? The Browns and the Deshaun Watson thing.
Yeah, I mean, for a variety of reasons, it is taken on a life of its own beyond just the simple big name quarterback trade. So Cleveland gets Deshaun Watson and a courtesy 2024 fifth round pick. I always wonder when stuff like that gets tossed in, like for what reason?
Yeah.
And then the Browns give to Houston their first round pick this year, their first round pick next year, their third round pick next year, their first round pick in 2024, and their fourth round pick in 2024. So 3 firsts, a third and a fourth for Deshaun Watson, and a fifth.
And he gets all the money in Cleveland, period.
Right.
Yeah, all of it, guaranteed.
It's the most guaranteed money of any NFL deal ever. Which I can't fathom.
My understanding is that every single dime of that, was it 250 or 280, is guaranteed.
$230 million over 5 seasons, fully guaranteed.
Okay.
For $44.9 million signing bonus that's spread out over the length of the 5-year deal.
Well, it's like I said, he got all the money in Cleveland, basically. That's it. Everybody's broke now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Man, there are so many levels of this thing. I mean, just from a pure football standpoint, I don't know that I do this deal. I don't care. Deshaun, he's a great player. But you are banking heavily on one guy here. I mean, you've given up it's a draft day from the movie Draft Day deal. It's like, wow, really?
Especially when you've seen the prices for the other QBs that have moved this offseason. And let me find what the Rams traded for Stafford, because I don't know if that's like a commiserate deal, but
it was a pretty big deal, but it was nowhere near this, if I remember.
Right. So the Rams sent 2 firsts, a third, and Jared Goff for just Matthew Stafford, where the Browns sent 3 firsts, a third, and a fourth for Deshaun Watson and a fifth. So I guess the Rams send 2 firsts. I guess you could say the third first round pick would be Jared Goff, who was the number 1 overall pick in his year. And then a third rounder where the Browns send a third and a fourth for Deshaun and a fifth. So I guess it's around the same value overall, probably. Different organizations, different value on draft picks and things like that. But Deshaun Watson's a good player. He's a very good football player, and he's proved that, whether it was his time at Clemson or his first few years in Houston when he's been healthy. Is he a guy that deserves the most guaranteed money in NFL history?
I don't think so.
Is he a guy and again, this is just purely based on the football nature of it. I think, but unfortunately, when we get to talking this in full, it's not just about the football nature of this. Because, and even the Browns know this because of the way they scheduled his contract that they signed. Which, by the way, again, to add on to the contract stuff, Deshaun Watson's extension that he signed in Houston before last season hasn't actually kicked in yet. So this is a guy that hasn't played football in a year for what was 22 accusations of sexual assault that were dropped in criminal court, at least dropped it as a criminal case because it's hard to prove a he said, she said in these sorts of things. And it's unfortunate that that's the case.
But don't you think though, that I would almost be willing to go, okay, maybe there's not a lot here if it was, say, 2 women. Sure. Maybe they're conspiring or trying to get a payout, whatever. I mean, it does happen. 22, I'm going, that's more of a trend. That's not a glitch. That's a feature. Basically. And
so you trade all this stuff and sign him to all this money for a guy that hasn't played in a year, and then you structure the contract in such a way that his base salary in his first year with Cleveland, despite it being $430 or $230 million total, the base salary in the first season is only $1 million.
Yeah, because
you do that because when you get suspended, it goes off your base salary, not your total value.
Right. And they don't expect him to. That's the most baffling thing about this. So basically, you've got a guy, I think we all know he's going to get suspended for some amount of time next year. We don't know how much. It could be as much as a year.
The NFL investigation is still ongoing.
So you pretty much traded your future away for a guy that we have a pretty good idea isn't going to play a full season next year. It just baffles me. And we haven't even gotten into the character issues on this. We're just talking about the pure football part of it.
Well, I'm sorry for my lateness. I missed teeing off on this stupid.
The window is open, Mike. Let it fly, because I don't think.
I just
as an actual football player, but we're all teeing off on it ourselves.
I mean, just looking at this thing, like I don't know where to start.
There's so much
wrong. The Browns. So the end of last season, the Browns publicly say we're committing to Baker Mayfield.
We haven't even gotten to Baker Mayfield of all. Oh my God.
Yeah, we're committing to Baker Mayfield. He is our guy. And then, as soon as they might have a shot with Deshaun Watson, they go, Baker who? Yes, Deshaun, please. And then, when that originally looks like it falls through, they go to Baker Mayfield and they say, hey man, you were always our guy. We were only exploring elite options like Deshaun Watson, which if you're Baker Mayfield, I'm not the biggest Baker Mayfield fan, but ouch.
They couldn't have botched this.
And then Baker, rightfully is like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to play for you now. Go fuck yourselves. So, here we are.
Well, he basically told them to go fuck themselves. And then they were like, well, guess what? He's going to play here anyway. And then within 4 hours, they were like, oh, actually, we changed our mind.
Well,
we're going to treat Deshaun Watson anyway.
Well, the thing that I heard was basically that by botching the Baker Mayfield thing so badly, it forced them to basically give up the farm to get Deshaun Watson, because they originally were not going to offer as much as they ended up offering to get him. But when it became clear that Baker Mayfield was going to be a problem, they were like, no, seriously, whatever it takes, we'll pay it, because this is our only option now.
It's ridiculous. I would have been, Zach and I were talking before we went on. If you didn't want Mayfield anymore, okay, I get it. Deshaun Watson taking out all the other stuff. Yeah, that's a great football player. And you go, yeah, he might be the missing piece for us. But first off, there's all the money, all the draft picks. You're basically throwing your future away for a guy that you're not even sure is going to play next year. Secondly, if you just want to get rid of Mayfield, there's Matt Ryan was out there, was available. You could have had him. There's Jimmy G. You might have been able to grab somehow.
To answer the question, why Nancy Reagan? By the way, it's because she's the throat goat.
Right. Yeah.
Although, given what we're
the glorious tournament victory,
Although, actually, now, given what has transpired, I think I'll change it up. given what we're talking about.
Zach, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop in this. So Kevin Costner shows up and goes, "Okay, you want Deshaun Watson? I want all my picks back plus all of yours, and this nightmare ends for the Browns." But that's
you're the one who said it. Like, this is straight out of this whole thing is straight out of draft day. Yeah. Like, I want all of your first round picks and a third, and
this is all going to end with Joe Burrow going to Cleveland because
fine by me. Yeah.
Because Ohio quarterback has to come home or whatever, and it's like nobody's going to tell the Browns that Cincinnati's also in Ohio, but whatever.
No, I think that the Browns fans, it's always been really since Bernie Kosar. Man, if we just had a great quarterback, it's like careful what you wish for. I look. I was perfect.
If only you had a great quarterback, the monkey's paw finger curls, and now you don't have any. I mean, now granted, the Rams gave up basically all their draft picks, but they gave up all of their draft picks to build a team that had a legitimate shot at winning the Super Bowl, and then they did.
Right.
Are the Browns going to win the Super Bowl?
Honestly, from a pure football standpoint, with the running game they have, and they've gotten Amari Cooper now, they've got some good receivers. The defense is solid. I think that if you just look at it from a pure football perspective, they got really, really good if Deshaun Watson plays next year. I mean, they went right to the top of the heap in the AFC North for sure.
Well, here's the deal. Like, again, we're trying to somehow compartmentalize this and talk about just the football of it all. If you're the Browns and you think you're a team that's on the rise and you're trying to capitalize on the window of the talent you currently have, and you look around the AFC and look, as Mike, as NFC fans, we should be just happily drinking our tea and looking the other way.
Oh no, I am, because there was like a brief moment where they were like, Deshaun Watson to the Saints or the Falcons. I was like, no. Now you look
at the AFC and it's like the AFC West is a gauntlet unto itself with Mahomes and Wilson and Herbert and Derek Carr getting Devontae Adams to play with him now. Joe Burrow just took the Bengals to the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson's also in the AFC North, not to mention Josh Allen in the Bills. Mac Jones didn't look bad. There is a gauntlet of quarterbacks now in the AFC, and if you're the Browns and you keep seeing that you're not fully committed to Baker Mayfield, you think we have to do something here to keep up in this arms race. And now it's just the AFC is a bloodbath. Like, good luck to whoever can come out of that thing next year. Where the AFC or over in the NFC, the Rams and the Packers and Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are all just happily sitting back there and kicking up their heels, saying, "All right, well."
I don't think one of those guys is sweating. Who went to the Comrades?
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. I don't think anybody.
Carson went to the Comrades. Yeah.
I don't think that Rodgers or Brady or Stafford are going, "Wow, man, we're gonna have to get past Carson."
We're gonna have to play Washington, guys. Let's hunker down.
I forgot Matt Ryan going to the Colts today, so there's another arm that just got thrown over to the AFC.
Yeah, between the news of Matt Ryan leaving the Falcons and Tom Brady unretiring, can we just award the Bucs the NFC South title now and
might as well
save some time? Because
Ryan to the
who is even the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons right now?
Baker Mayfield, probably. Is Ryan definitely on his way to the Colts?
Yeah, that's a done deal.
It's happening.
I got to be honest. I kind of like that move for the Colts. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but put them in the NFC and that makes them a serious contender. But I don't, like you said, Zach. I mean, look at what you got to go through. That AFC West is going to be ridiculous next year. Just ridiculous.
So now the Browns. I see why they think they need to do this.
Hell, the AFC North is looking kind of competitive. I mean, honestly,
outside the Steelers, yeah.
The Steelers got Trubisky, so
imagine selling that to your fans now.
The Browns got Deshaun Watson. The Bengals have Joe Burrow. the Ravens have Lamar Jackson. It's okay, Steelers Nation. We got Mitch Trubisky.
He's a number 1 overall pick too, you know.
The original MVP, guys. We got this covered.
Watch them win that division next year.
Jesus, no. Because McCarthy's right. You know, Steelers devil magic is real.
No, yeah, sure.
I just, but from the, you know, my first thought when this happened with the Browns was like, this fucking team is going to be the one that wins the Super Bowl, and I'm going to have to deal with this, you know, like, or even get there. And I'm going to be like, this is going to be the way it's going to be. Where, okay, we finally got there, but look how we did it. And I don't know if I'm okay with that. I'm not one of these fans who's going to go, I'm not going to be a Browns fan ever again because they signed Deshaun Watson. I mean, look, at the NFL's the NFL. We're all grown-ups here. We know that there's a long, I don't know if there's a list quite as long as Deshaun Watson's, but there's a lot of players out there that have very sketchy off the field issues. Okay, that's just the way it works. And again, if this is Jacoby Brissett with this record, we've never heard of him again. That's the end of it. It's over. We'll never hear from him. But you know what? It's Deshaun Watson. He's really good. Like Jimmy and D Haslam did in that embarrassing fucking thing they put out on Twitter and on social media, where they're like, well, we talked with Deshaun and all this. It's like what you basically said was, look, this guy's really good. And if this were a third stringer, we wouldn't even bother. But this guy's really good, so we're going to turn our heads the other way. So fuck off and go buy a jersey. You know
that whole social media thing was basically like, come on, guys, be cool about it.
No.
Well, look, this is the part that rubs me the wrong way too, and it's just the way the NFL works. We know of all the sports leagues, it's more cutthroat than any other when it comes to winning at all costs. And you know, even when it comes to simple things like salary dumps or letting guys go, like the Rams let go Robert Woods this week because I don't know, they didn't think that he was a valuable part of the team anymore. And it was like I thought he was, but Deshaun Watson gets the criminal case gets dropped. A criminal case again of 22 or 23 women accusing him of sexual assault. And near instantaneously, the trade market is on fire for him immediately.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to deal with the court, you don't have to deal with the criminal case. And it's disgusting. It really is. Yeah, and it's not like it's a surprise or anything, but just like, let the body breathe a little bit. It's just really gross. And you know, again, maybe it's not something for three white men in America to make these complaints anymore on a podcast, no less. But I saw plenty of reaction from female journalists and fans on Twitter and beyond about reiterating the fact that the NFL apparently does not give a shit about the female fan at all.
It doesn't,
because of how they allow guys that have a record like Deshaun Jackson or Ray Rice or whomever you want to pick out of the pile.
You know, let's talk about the Cleveland Browns.
Third chances.
Before Deshaun Watson, there was Kareem Hunt on the Cleveland Browns.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I love him now because he can play and he's a good backup.
Or hell, 90% of the Kansas City Chiefs roster.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. I mean, you could go on and on and on. You know, I mean, it's just it. Like you said, Zach, it was like the you know who else was found not guilty? O.J. Simpson. Does anybody in this fucking show believe he did not kill his wife and that Ron Goldman dude? No. You know, it's just. I don't know.
But he did write a book about how he would have done it.
If I had done it, this is how I would do it. Like, God damn it! Turns out it was an awful lot like what actually happened. Imagine that.
Yeah.
It's just embarrassing.
It's not something that we can dwell on too much because we don't have the experience to as three white men in America to concern troll what's going on here. But it's worth pointing out that it's just another example of the NFL not giving a shit on that regard. But again, this is a guy that. It would be one thing if it was just they traded for him. It would just be another one thing if he got released by the Texans and he got signed for a 2-year deal at $10 million to prove himself again. He got traded for a king's ransom. He got signed to the most guaranteed money ever when his extension from the previous team still hasn't actually kicked in yet. In addition to all of that, after not playing for a full season because he was under investigation for 23 counts of sexual assault.
Well,
I don't know how the Browns, and you just talked about it, I don't know how the Browns can go through this with a straight face and say, "Oh yeah, no, it's fine."
Oh, they're trying their best, believe me. But you
yeah.
know, that's the thing. We all want to blame the Browns, and I get it. They're the ones that won this thing, but they were hardly alone in this.
No, of course.
I mean, yeah, they were the ones that ended up walking away with this guy, but it could have been the Falcons, it could have been the Saints, it could have been the Panthers, it could have been the Seahawks. It wasn't like, so let's, and again, I'm not defending what the Browns did, but let's quit acting like they were the only, like Deshaun Watson was persona non grata, and all of a sudden the Browns went, hey, you know what? Fuck everybody else. We're going to sign him anyway. That's not how this played out. Yeah. They just happen to be the ones that were left holding the bag at the end. But it's just it's tough as a Browns fan because, you know, like I've said it numerous times over the years on the show that I have a love-hate relationship with the NFL, and this shit's why. I love watching football, but man, oh man, this is the one league where you really don't want to know how the sausage is made. You just don't want to know about it.
And it would be something different if Deshaun Watson had shown any single ounce of contrition, like after the fact.
Yeah,
but he pleaded the fifth through his entire original court appearances before the whole thing was dropped because I mean, that's a whole different problem. But he just, and yeah, I don't expect him to come out and say, yeah, I'm sorry for doing those things because he's trying to prove that he didn't do those things. But like, I don't know. It's the storm of the giant trade and the giant contract, and who knows if it had been different had he gone to Carolina. Would Carolina sign him to that giant contract, or were any of these trades predicated on the fact that he would get a new contract wherever he signed? I don't know.
Well, but give his agent props because that dude pulled off a really kind of a miracle here. It's just I said it before the show. I'll say it again. I would have rather had Matt Ryan, Jimmy G. I would have taken another year of Mayfield because for all of his issues, whatever they might be, and there's now, of course, it's time to bury Baker Mayfield because he's not there anymore. So now we can say all the bad stuff about him. But
yeah,
he shouldn't have played hurt last year, and he was an asshole about it. Okay, fine, whatever. I would have been better with taking another year of Baker Mayfield and seeing what happened after that than this. And again, I'm not going to follow the team or I'm not going to do this or that because that's just ridiculous. That's like those people that go, if so-and-so gets elected president, I'm moving to Canada. It's like, you're not fucking going anywhere, so shut up. You know, it's the same exact thing. You're not going to leave the Browns, so just stop it already. But
I wonder if this all would have been received better overall if Watson had just stayed with the Texans for another season.
I think it would have been a lot easier. Yeah.
Because then you get the time to kind of like let him reestablish who he is and what he is, instead of like he was in this constant stasis of being persona non grata for 9 months. And then again, the thing that makes me react like this is just how fast the switch flipped.
Yep.
From he is dealing with a criminal case of 23 counts of sexual assault to, we have to trade everything in our mother for him right now, today, this week, or lose out on the quarterback of a generation. And it's like, again, just Deshaun Watson's a good QB. He is very good, very good. No doubting his actual football ability, but he's a guy that hasn't played in a year, and he's a guy that's going to be dealing with a whole lot of personal nonsense. And has he really won anything in the NFL? Not really. So it's just weird to commit all of this to a guy that has so much going against him at this point.
Well, that's what I mean. I think from the Browns standpoint, they look at it and they see Burrow and they see Lamar and they see Mahomes and Allen and now Russell Wilson.
Well, they could have had Allen.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was saying all along throughout this. If you fuckers had listened to me, however many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and just drafted Josh Allen, this is all someone else's problem right now. No, I don't understand that. I mean, I think we could all agree that Josh Allen is without question a top 5 NFL quarterback today, right?
Yep.
He had all the same problems going to Buffalo that Cleveland said, well, he's got all these issues. Like Buffalo didn't see something that we didn't, or he didn't like miraculously lose all these, whatever they were saying that was wrong with him. But it's like, we want Mayfield because he's a fiery personality. Except now you want to get rid of him because, wait for it, he's a fiery personality. It's like, fuck off. I don't even care anymore. I just don't. Hey,
I mean, the Browns were so excited to get Deshaun Watson on the roster, right? That they put his jersey up for sale with the wrong number.
The wrong number, yeah.
What number was it?
22.
44?
Oh, for
22?
Yeah.
Oh, I think, wasn't that like a joke somebody made? Like,
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, about the it's 22 for the lawsuits.
Oh,
So,
dark.
yeah. And I sent you guys the meme of like, the first picture of Deshaun Watson in the Browns uniform. And
It's
got
Bill
Cosby's
Cosby.
head on it.
Jesus.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like, come on, Browns, quit being the Browns just for 5 minutes. I was like, going, please, just
I was gonna say, even when the Browns managed to land like a top tier QB, they do it in the most Browns way possible. Like,
you know what this reminds me of, and not from the off the field stuff, but just something like throwing all your money in a place where everybody's going, what the fuck did you just do? And you guys don't remember this. This was back before they even moved, but like in 91, I forget what year it was. Remember Andre Rison was a wide receiver for the Falcons? It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Art Modell went out and like took out loans and shit to give this guy a ridiculously overpriced contract, and he never amounted to be anything. And that's what I'm looking at this going, this is going to be the same exact thing. We're going to be paying for Andre Rison 2.0 for years and not get a goddamn thing out of it. That's the, all the other stuff aside. I just don't know. I mean, in my position, it's like, okay, what if they win the Super Bowl? It's like a hollow victory, I think, at that point, to me, at least. Maybe that's.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably not something worth worrying about.
Well, you never know. I mean, that like I said, I know that everybody's Browns, but if you look at that roster and you add a top flight quarterback to it, they get real dangerous real fast. Now you've got a guy who's not going to throw the ball 4 rows into the stands as often as he's going to throw it to the receiver. You've got three really good running backs. You've got Amari Cooper. You've got a good solid set of backup receivers. The defense is solid. I mean, their roster is better than Cincinnati's, and Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl last year. And the Browns, they can't even touch the Browns like position for position talent wise. Better offensive line, better running game. So yeah, I think that this makes them legit contenders, but at what cost? That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot to get through all the bullshit, because they've got to deal with it for the entire offseason now, and maybe they'll be able to kind of push it to the side for now. And because I don't assume Deshaun Watson will show up to all these summer workouts. I mean, maybe he will, but if they're able to hold it off until training camp.
After all that, hold on, I've got to sneeze. I'll kill my mic here. You guys.
Oh yeah, no. If he's got I don't know. I don't see I've never gotten the sense from him that he's someone who's gonna skip out on that kind of thing. He's not Antonio Brown or anything.
No, I mean, but if he does, that's a real bad look at this point.
Yeah. They're gonna have to get through it, and what that's gonna take from a leadership standpoint, from a coach. I mean, it's Stefanski, right? I don't know. I mean, the problem with all this is like, this isn't like we're talking about the Colts or something. We're talking about the Cleveland Browns, who haven't really shown an ability to clearly navigate anything.
No, that's the beauty of this. It's like, this is going to be a total fucking disaster. It's just how. That's the only question.
Well,
they still have to figure out the Baker Mayfield of it all at some point.
Well, yeah. So, where's he gonna go?
The spot right now would be to send him to Atlanta, but I don't know. I
don't think anybody wants him. That's the sad part.
Well, that's the problem now too. Is like, because of all the shit that just went on, like you would think that when you're trying to trade, you just acquired the Rams did it right in that they exchanged quote unquote problem QB for quote unquote upgrade QB, and the Browns didn't do that. If the Browns had done this smartly, Baker Mayfield would be the Houston Texans quarterback right now.
Yeah,
right. But they didn't. For some reason, Houston didn't want Baker Mayfield, which makes you wonder.
Baker Mayfield's got too much personality for the mega church team. He
well, and what's the Stanford guy's name? Like
Davis
General Mills.
Yeah.
What's his name? What is his name?
Davis.
Archibald Mills.
General Archibald Mills for the Texans. Archibald Beauregard Mills. There we are. Anyway, yeah, they think that's their guy. I mean, and what was he, a third or fourth round pick? I don't remember.
He's their guy because he agreed to pay the tithes. You see,
is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
To answer Michael Walker's question, there is no way in hell the Browns would go on Hard Knocks this year.
I would think
no way.
I think they're eligible for it, but I don't think they would. I mean, you're just asking for trouble at that point.
I
then again,
whether it's the preseason one or the in-season one, neither one would be good because it would be bad for two reasons. One, the Browns aren't going to want to have all this stuff put on blast for everyone to see, and secondly, it wouldn't be put on blast. It would be skirted around and avoided. It would never be talked about, and that wouldn't be satisfying either. It would be a joke. So the NFL is not going to overexpose them like that, and even if they did, you wouldn't hear a single peep about it. So no point in doing it.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I mean, well, I don't remember if Joe Mixon was with the Bengals back when they were on, but there was some kind of that. It's NFL Films, which is as great as they are. They're basically the propaganda arm of the NFL. They're not going to really be.
Well, the closest we could even compare it to would be when the Raiders were on with Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
but it's not really the same thing.
No.
Well, we got to see his quest for a new helmet. That was fun.
He almost freeze his own feet off.
He froze his feet off. Yeah.
This is I don't know. This is just the National Football League, but it is what it is. I mean, it's like, come on, Atlanta. You fuck up everything else. How come you couldn't pull this off? Really? I would have taken Matt Ryan in a heartbeat just for 2 years. Just give me the guy for 2 years. I don't even care what happens. Just don't make me deal with this. But here we are.
Atlanta. But I don't know. If you're Atlanta, the whole thing was maybe they don't want Baker Mayfield. Who else do they have?
That's the thing. It is. I mean, I know that Mayfield's got a reputation. I don't know why. I mean, I watched him play here for 4 years. He seemed decent enough to me.
He's a decent enough player, but I think it's an attitude thing.
I don't know about all the rah stuff and all that, but I mean, he was always pretty good with the media.
Prone to interceptions, I guess. If you're gonna,
I mean, not. I'm just talking from his off the field stuff. I mean, he wasn't a bad character. And God knows we saw him in enough TV commercials the last lifetime.
Oh yeah, that's good. Poor progressive ads. What are they going to do?
So as of right now, the QB in Atlanta is Marcus Mariota, who just signed with them.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's the way forward, Atlanta.
Look,
truly,
I think clearly with them getting rid of Matt Ryan and getting rid of Julio Jones a couple years ago and all that, they're gonna try to do a restart. Which, I mean, we argued they should have done years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're a bit late to the game on that one.
Yeah.
But is this it? Is everyone from that team, that 28-3 team gone?
There might be a few guys left, but I think the bulk of them are probably. Because that was, 4 or 5 years ago now, right? I mean, just natural attrition in the NFL would make me think that most of them. I mean, Julio Jones is gone. Ryan's gone now. What was
Dan Quinn's gone, the coach.
Devontae Freeman was he still on the team? I don't remember. Was he on that Super Bowl team? I'm pretty sure he was.
He's gone.
There was another wide receiver. I can't think of his. Number 12. Oh shit, what was his name? Sanu.
Yeah, no, he's
been gone for a while now. Yeah, so I think so, Mike. I think that they're close enough now where they can hit the reset button and get rid of the rest of the mojo from.
I mean, again, I would say this should have happened years ago, but
15 minutes after that game ended.
They should have cleaned the fuck up back then. But okay,
they have some pieces to build around, especially offensively. They re-signed Cordarrelle Patterson. Kyle Pitts proved to be the real deal as a tight end last year, so they're kind of turning the ship. But it's one of those things where Matt Ryan outlived his usefulness to the Falcons.
Yeah,
but much in the same way that Matthew Stafford did to the Lions. Matthew Stafford could have been a career Lion. Matt Ryan could have been a career Falcon. But at that point, you're committing yourself to just not winning football games anymore. And so you try to move those guys into situations that would be advantageous to them, and sure as hell worked out for Matt Stafford. I don't know if you can say that the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl next year, but you give them a new spot, and then on the other side, you get to continue to truly commit to a rebuild and just kind of live with the Marcus Mariota experience for 2 years, or you go get Baker Mayfield and try to get the 7th playoff spot in the NFC, and that's worth. Yeah, right.
I mean, if you're the 7th playoff team in the NFC, that's pretty bad. Let's be honest about it.
I mean, the Falcons were right there. They were 7-10. They were only a game out of the playoffs.
The 7th seed. The 7th seed in the NFC was Philadelphia.
Yeah, or Eagles. Yeah.
The Eagle and the Bucks murder killed them. So
yeah.
Are we sure? Like neither of the 2 7 seeds this past season made me think,
this was a great idea.
These teams deserve to be here.
I remember, I don't know if you guys remember this, but going into that Philadelphia Tampa Bay game, there were so many announcers, or not announcers, but talk show people and the basic I don't even know what you'd call them, but like the not the Skip Baylesses of the world, but you know what I'm talking about, like
talking heads. Yeah,
talking heads, that's the word I'm looking for. I'm sorry, I think I've got COVID, so I probably got a little bit of the brain fog here, but they were all trying to talk up this Philadelphia team matches up really well against the Bucks. It's maybe for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I heard people trying to talk up the defensive line, and it's
And then after 5 minutes, it was 28-3, and it's oh well.
You know what? The Citadel matches up against Alabama pretty well at the opening kickoff, and after that, it's not so much.
Well, I just remember the jokes coming out that game where it was Philadelphia Eagles. It appears you've been matched with an opponent, with an overskilled opponent team. Yeah.
That was so hilarious.
But then in the AFC, it wasn't much better because we all had to watch the Steelers get their crap kicked in by the Chiefs. So
we wouldn't have had to do that if the
Chargers had just taken the tie.
Well, if the Chargers had taken the tie, or if the Colts had not lost to the Jaguars.
That's true. Yeah.
And I would hope that Matt Ryan is a better quarterback than Carson Wentz to at least not lose to the Jaguars
in a must-win game. Yeah. Also,
that would be my
hope. But man, I'm sorry, that tie was what we deserved, and we were robbed of it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Steelers, real quick, boy, are their fans loving this now? It's you can't call Big Ben a rapist anymore. It's sure we can. It doesn't suddenly just because we signed a guy that's worse doesn't
cancel
your
each other
guy's
out.
Suddenly better. You don't stand on somebody else's shoulders and call yourself tall. That's kind of what they're trying to do here. It's it doesn't work like that. Your guy's just as bad, maybe not just as bad. But...
I mean, if you're a Steelers fan, you don't even need to resort to that. Just remind Browns fans that they beat you in the playoffs with Tommy Maddox.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Thanks for reminding me of that.
Look, it's XFL legend Tommy Maddox. Yeah. All right.
But yeah,
and Zach, you should appreciate that too. That's LA football legend Tommy Maddox.
Right. You went to UCLA. I don't care so much about that, but
the leader of LA's last professional football championship before the Rams.
Wow.
Super Bowl.
So to move on from Greg's football team to Greg's other football team.
I had a bad week.
I would imagine that Aaron Rodgers had some sort of notice that his number one receiver wasn't going to be on the team next year when he re-signed, right?
Well, now I like this move if they can pull it off. Now they're talking about using one of those picks they got from the Raiders to draft Chris Olave from the Buckeyes, who's a really good player, but he's not Devontae Adams. Let's not kid ourselves. But just to go back, just to kind of tie this together, how is it when you go, man, I wish we'd gotten Aaron Rodgers because he's the good guy in this, of all the available, I would rather have him. At least he's an asshole, but okay, I can live with that. I've lived with it for a long time.
The thing about it that was really interesting, right, was that, apparently all this drama between Rodgers and the Packers stems from Rodgers not feeling like, the team has done enough to be competitive. It's like
that's what made this so funny. And
they don't draft play, like they don't draft offensive talent. They don't help him out on offense. Not getting wide receivers. And then he signs this huge deal, which we don't know the exact terms of because Aaron was very quick to shoot down the rumors.
I think the official terms finally came out. Let me see if I could find.
But he signs this deal, and then the Packers just go like, "Oh, by the way, your all-star number 1 wide receiver, he's gone."
Yeah.
He's gone.
So, he did officially sign a contract for 3 years, $150 million, with all of it guaranteed. So,
well, so part of me hopes that the Packers are just trolling Aaron Rodgers at this point. Like they gave him this whole dog and pony show of like, Aaron, we see you as a part of our future. We want you to play for the Packers. Like believe us, we will commit to building an offense around you. And like he's like, all right, here, I signed. And then they're like, okay, trade Davante Adams. That like he's under contract. Trade Davante Adams.
Well, so the real problem here, from what I read or heard, Aaron Rodgers was aware of this being a possibility the entire time. Because Davante Adams, they were trying to put the franchise tag on him for next year.
Yeah.
And Davante Adams didn't want that. He wanted like an actual contract.
Mm-hmm.
And the Packers were like, well, we can't afford to give you an actual contract, so I guess we'll trade you instead. And Aaron Rodgers was apparently okay with it. So
I don't think he is. I'm sorry. There was too much drama over him, demanding wide receivers for him to be like okay with it. Like I'm sorry.
Shut the fuck up and just play. And quit.
I was thinking
for that guy to say you're not doing enough for me, that is just absurd at every possible level. I'm sorry, but it's just ridiculous. Not doing enough for you. What more could they have fucking done other than put in a quarterback that wouldn't have lost every fucking time they played an NFC championship or whatever? Come on, man.
I don't know, man. Like, I hope they spend one of those draft picks on a QB. Like, just really.
That would be hilarious, wouldn't it?
That would be. I would hate to be Jordan Love at that point. To be like, oh,
but you know what though? I think he's kind of like with Baker Mayfield. It's like, okay, all of a sudden these guys are available and no one's calling. And Jordan Love, you could get him for a song right now. I mean, it wouldn't take anything.
Yeah,
and maybe this is, I don't know.
I mean, he's had limited experience and he hasn't looked fantastic in it, but
the one time he got to play in a game that meant anything was against the Chiefs, and that's not exactly an easy team to go do your first start against either. No,
but he can just sit there and live the Matt Flynn life.
That's
right?
what I would do. I mean, I make no.
Matt Flynn, luckiest son of a bitch who ever football.
Yeah, I mean, it's him and Clipboard Jesus, Charlie Whitehurst, right?
Yeah, right.
Those guys are out playing golf in Hawaii somewhere right now, still getting paid.
Just
look at us.
Like I still feel for Matt Flynn because he's like his kid in like 15 years is gonna like look up his dad's stats out of curiosity, be like, oh no.
Was he on the national championship LSU team that they won with Nick Saban? Is that where he came from?
I think so. Let me double check.
I'm just saying because he had that really great game against the Lions when it meant nothing.
He like that man is the American dream. He parlayed one good day of work into untold riches.
Yeah, LSU. Yeah,
I knew he went to LSU, but yeah, I wouldn't be ashamed. I'd be like, yeah, man, I played like one game and got paid.
I only had to have one good game, and they gave me all of the money.
Right, I got all the money. I still got all my faculties. I can walk fine.
Yeah.
I've got a ton of money. I never have to work a day the rest of my life. So sure, make fun of me all you want. Have fun with it. I don't care. Fuck off. I'll buy your house and throw you out of it.
Let's see. I think the only other really truly notable contract that happened would probably be Von Miller.
That was an interesting move too. That was
Buffalo.
Surprised by that.
Yeah, I fully expected him to be back with the Rams, but he wanted more money, and Buffalo sure gave him some money. He's a 33-year-old edge rusher who's going to be paid. Who signed a 6-year, $120 million contract?
Okay.
I love Von Miller. Von Miller was great. I loved his time here. He's a great dude. Helped us win the Super Bowl. Was incredibly impactful on defense. But 6 years, 120 for a 33-year-old in the NFL is.
I did not know he was that old. Not that 33 is old, but I
no,
mean,
of course
that's
not.
pretty old. Yeah.
Is there a chance that he there a chance that like another Buffalo Bills player, he just retires at halftime of his first game there?
Well, I think the Bills are better now. Than
that's a better prospect these days.
He's still in line to compete for a Super Bowl, so good for him. But yeesh.
Who was that?
Oh, I don't remember now.
His name's on the tip of my tongue. Like as soon as
defensive player, right? I mean, it wasn't like a nobody. It was I think it was towards the tail end of his career, but we all knew who he was.
Vontae Davis.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Fuck
Vontae Davis. Yeah. One half of Bills football was all he needed. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I'm out.
Well, that was during the Peterman, the Nate Peterman experiment.
Oh, Christ, I'm surprised he made it to halftime. After that fourth interception in the first quarter, I'd have been like, fuck this, I'm done. I'm going home. Is that dude even still in the league, Nathan Peterman?
Last I heard, he was on the Raiders practice squad.
Wow, good for him.
And and John Gruden was going like, I'm telling you, I like this Nate Peterman guy.
Yeah, well, John Gruden likes a lot of things he probably shouldn't like.
And of course, that was before John Gruden got shit canned out of the NFL. So
his contract expired with the Raiders practice squad at the end of this year. So he's a free agent.
Oh, well, hey, look, Atlanta, you know.
It's Seattle on the phone. Dude. Is Geno Jones still is he like the heir apparent right now to Russell Wilson? And no, Drew Lock is out there now, right?
Yeah. Drew Lock. And then we've got oh
damn, man. If you're Baker Mayfield and they're going, wow, we like Drew Lock better. Sorry. Wow.
So just because I have
the Russell Wilson to the Broncos, because we are the premier Russell Wilson podcast.
Absolutely we are. Get all the best Russell Wilson takes here.
I mean,
I'm glad he found time to stop off at Sears to get his family portrait done while he was in Denver.
Almighty. It was like
millions of dollars goes to Walmart family photo done. Like,
I mean, Andy's like, it's charming. Yeah, it's charming, but it's a shit photograph. That was
it's lit terribly.
Yeah.
Like, god damn.
No, what that looks like to me was the photographer was like, okay, well, hey Russ, come over here. We're gonna get some pictures of you, and he's like, no, all my pictures are gonna be with my family, and it's like, yeah, no, we can do some of those, Russ, but we just want to take pictures of you for the program and for the media. No, you don't understand. It's me and I am a family man. You know me, Russell Wilson, family guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pose with my family, and it's like, well, we don't have the
lighting.
Okay, yeah, just come on, just let's go. Come on, just do it.
Either that or that was like a firing squad photographer, basically line them up and shoot them, because that's what it looked like. It was just
which you'd think again Russell Wilson should be able to afford better than that, but all right.
Maybe he was in a hurry. I don't know.
Well, he had to go buy a cowboy hat. He needs that in his trunk, now that he lives in Denver. So
true, good point. But anyway, yeah. So the one big signing that I can't believe we've missed this entire segment. I mean, really the biggest one of all, Zach, and it affects your team the most. Johnny Hekker to the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. He was on the cusp of being cut in training camp last year. It was him or Bajorquez, however you want to say it. The guy who was the punter for the Packers this year.
Okay.
They were.
Is that some kind of weird Latin American Scandinavian fusion?
It's Bojorquez. So it's like I think it's Bajorquez or Bajorquez. I never heard it pronounced the same twice. So
it's from the Spanish / Icelandic island of Greenland, I believe.
Yeah, right. But no, I mean Johnny Hekker was a very one of the best punters of the last decade, and was a great guy in the community, especially when it came to the Rams coming back to LA and trying to reestablish themselves, and especially when they were bad at the beginning, he was probably their best player in the first season back.
Well, that's kind of why I was a little surprised. He struck me. I mean, not that it's like an apples to apples comparison here, but he struck me as like a Pat McAfee type of guy, where like it was a punter that everybody knew.
Yeah, and he was.
Kind of
He was great, one of the best at converting fourth downs with passes and all that sort of stuff. He was very good, but it's just a matter of they had to, like last season when it was him or the Packers punter. I don't even want to try to pronounce his name again.
Bajorquez.
When they decided to keep Johnny Hekker, they had to restructure his contract even. So to keep him on, his punting average again went down this year. He wasn't his best, but it was a matter of, hey, if we're going to keep you around, we're going to have to either restructure your contract again or do something. And maybe we just want to move on. And you've had a great run. We won the Super Bowl with us this year. You've put in all this time. We're going to let you go and move on. And it's sad because he is a fan favorite player, despite all that. And they'll move on. Good for him to find a place so quickly in Carolina. And
yeah, I mean,
well.
Yeah, and I think not a lot of money compared to like quarterback, whatever, but for a punter, he's not doing too bad.
Yeah.
So good for him. I think that we talk about Matt Flynn. I think punter is the best job in the NFL. Just if you can hang on for 10 years. Yeah, it was Johnny Hekker. I mean, that's what I mean. He must have been a likable character because I'm like, man, not Johnny Hekker, no. So, and I'm not even a Rams fan. But
unfortunate, but we'll move on.
Yeah.
So because I looked up Nathan Peterman, I have his stats available, career stats.
Oh yes.
Here's a question for you: what does Nathan Peterman have more of? Career touchdown passes or career starts?
Oh boy.
I'm gonna say starts.
I'm gonna say touchdown passes.
4 games started, 3 touchdown passes.
Oh. I just thought maybe it was one of those things where like he got into a couple of games late and threw a garbage time TD, and that's how he had more TD passes than starts.
Yeah. I was gonna do something like sacks versus game started or touchdowns, but he has in four games started, 10 games played overall, 3 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown run, 12 interceptions, and 10 sacks.
That's impressive that you've got 3 times as many interceptions as you've started. That's good.
Someone I remember at the height of Peterman mania, people were someone did the math and it was like Aaron Rodgers would have to throw like an interception on like his next 125 straight passes and he'd still have a better like average passer rating than Nate Peterman.
I like the ones where they would say like so and so would have to could just like snap the ball and throw it into the ground and would still have a better passer rating than Nate Peterman. Just snap it and like spike it and still be better. That was pretty funny.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the the National Football League. What are you gonna do?
I just remembered like, oh, what a glorious time that was. Like the
Mike, I should have followed you to Tampa Bay when I had the chance. I should have.
Oh. It's nice here. I mean now full disclosure, they have banned strawberries from the Tampa Bay area. So
that's okay. I've never liked strawberries. So
okay, well then you're gonna fit right in. Come on down.
Yeah, never been a big strawberry person. I don't know.
When they signed Tom, they burnt them all. When he retired, they started shipping them back in. But when he unretired, the TB12 riot police went into all the supermarkets and confiscated
Right.
them.
The TV
in hazmat suits, of course.
the
You
TV
can't let the
stormtroopers,
toxins.
yeah. So yeah, but we got anything else you want to do on the NFL, boys? I mean, there's got
No, I think we
for
scratched that
hours.
out.
But yeah, so talk to me again this next season and see where I'm at. I'll see if I can join the cognitive dissonance tour here with the rest of the Browns fans. But right now, I'm not getting on board. It's just,
You're not going to get a jersey?
No. It'll be yeah. Way to go, Browns. You just even when you do something right, you still fucking manage to disappoint somehow. I don't know how that's possible. Here we are. You guys want to
move on to? Do you want to go to other sports or GTOV?
Let's do the GTOV real quick in case people are tuning in just to hear that. We've already made them sit through 40 some minutes of us, 55 minutes.
Yeah, it's fine.
The final
people
four,
enjoy our company, right?
Yeah, that's true. They do, right? The final four is set. Do we want to go to it?
Let's go!
All right, and we got to
excited.
I was thinking about this. Now that we've done to the final four, we got to figure out how do we match up, because do we just do it randomly, or do I just do it in the order that they're up here in, or how do we do this?
You probably just throw them in a hat.
All right,
pick it out. We can do that live. I can get a generator.
Okay, yeah, get a generator, because I was like, well, this isn't, because you don't want to manipulate the matches, because these are the big ones now. But yeah, the final four is set, and no real surprise. I don't know. I won't say there's no real surprises. There's a couple, but they were all close. They were closer, I should say, not like terribly close, but some were pretty close. So, Zach, when you're ready, I'll start running down the scores here.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, in the Sentinel Prime Memorial Region of Excellence, we had number 1 seed Ukrainian Sunflower Grandma taking on number 2 seed Ricky LaFleur, Arizona Coyotes landlord. They'll make the final four, by the way.
As I said last week, this is one of those. These are both my children, and yep. I guess either way, I will be both happy and sad.
Either does the wonder of the Trailer Park Boys outlast the steadfastness of the Ukrainian Sunflower Grandma?
Of Ukraine's aggression, Ukraine's resistance to imperialistic aggression.
The Trailer Park Boys, over their multiple seasons now, it used to be just 9, but I think they've added a few more since then, have done some marvelous, wonderful, memorable things. Not once have they approached like, here, stick these sunflower seeds in your pockets and fuck off when you die so flowers can grow. That's amazing to me. So that's where I stand on that. I'm in the wrong mouse here. But anyway, so the final score in that one, any guesses before I give it away here, guys?
I'm going to say Sunflower Grandma won. I feel that's kind of the way it was trending.
Man, I'm going to lean Sunflower Grandma.
And that's the way it went. Ukrainian Sunflower Grandma 16, Ricky LaFleur 10. The Sunflower Grandma takes it all the way to the final four.
Ooh.
This next one, this is in the goddamn Batman Memorial region. And this thing went back and forth as I was keeping an eye on it all week. It's number 1 seed Born Again Thanos against number 2 seed Florida Man Trash Can Gator Wrangler. And this one was crazy. I at one point I'm like, this fucking thing's gonna end up tied. I just know it. So we do have a winner. Do you guys want to take a shot at who it is?
Oh boy.
I think I'm feeling Thanos pulled this one out.
I almost wonder if the people use the logic that I put forth last week and said, if the Florida Man can wrangle a gator with a trash can, what is a gauntletless found Jesus Thanos stand against him?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had a little something because he beat him 14-12. Born Again Thanos goes on. Number 1 seed takes it all the way to the final four. I'm a little surprised. I thought, because I really like Born Again Thanos as one of the entries here. Like, it was one of my favorites. And every time, especially in your region for some reason, Zach, we'll get like a really good one and it'll fucking go out in like the second or third round. And I go, I don't understand, but not this year. He made it all the way. So
the people follow their hearts.
Yes. The Rip from the Headlines region, and shout out to Cosmic, who says that this region is going to win it all. I really doubt it, but I like your spirit, man. This was probably the I don't know if it's the most important match of the entire Elite 8, but maybe one of the most watched. Number 3 seed Nancy Reagan Throat Goat taking on Bishop Sycamore, not a high school.
Oh God! Oh no!
Come on, Nancy.
So again, another close match. And this was one that I thought could have gone either way. and we have a winner. Do I get spared the embarrassment of Nancy Reagan throat goat?
No, you don't get spared. You live with it. You live with what you've done.
I trust in the Bishop Sycamore in its ability to not exist and not get throat goated.
Jack is correct. Believe it or not, Bishop Sycamore, not a high school, number 4 seed, takes it home to the Final Four. Final score 15-11. Yeah, I'm not heartbroken. I mean, Nancy Reagan throat goat. One of those interviews where I'm like, this thing's going to make a real run. And then after I started making a real run, I'm going, what was I thinking? Why did I do this? So she is out, but I'm sure she pleasured a lot of people along the way here. Is there a little irony or symmetry maybe in the fact that she went out in the Elite 8? I'm just saying.
Oh, God.
Sorry. And finally, in the peanut butter is good region, number 4 seed, Hanks the Tanks Obese Bear Tree are taking on number 6 seed, Lewd 1950s Chimp Pornographer.
I'm going to go with the Chimp.
I like the Chimp in this one, too.
It wasn't even close. This Chimp has just kicked ass and taken names every step of the way. 19-7, the final. Chimp Pornographer. Cool. Those Chimps are tough to beat, man. You get a good one in there. It's just they always make at least the Final Four. It never fails.
So what was he going up against again?
Hanks the Tanks, the Obese Bear Trio. Yeah, I'm not surprised he got this far. I'm surprised at how dominant the Chimp Pornographer was. And that was even before now, if you go to the boards, all the entrants have links to actual pictures or whatever, of who they are. So he did it all on his own until last round. But yeah, 19-7. That's the closest match he's had so far. Is this one? Only winning by 12. He's just been dominant. The dominant force of the tournament so far. So now we need to match him up for the Final Four, boys.
A hush descends over.
All right, I have a wheel ready to go.
Okay, should I show it on the screen or?
No, it's all right.
Okay.
So here we go. It's a wheel. You can go if you want to check my work. It's at wheelofnames.com just to show you what I'm using. All right. So first click to spin. Your first entry into the Final Four is Born Again Thanos.
Okay. And this next one will settle the rest of the bracket here because whoever he takes on, the other two will play against each other.
And the next entry, it was Born Again Thanos again. So we gotta spin this one more time. Nope.
He plays himself, creates a paradox, and the entire universe disappears.
Here we go. Your Born Again Thanos will square off against the Lewd Chimp Photographer.
Oh, hey, there we go. That's going to be a hell of a match.
That's a battle of morals, is what that.
Exactly. So that means that Bishop Sycamore, not a high school, will be taking the grandmother.
Ukrainian sunflower grandma.
Boys, I think those are good matchups. We're going to get a deserving champion out of this at some point. So there you go. That's the glorious tournament of victory. The Final Four will be, again, Born Again Thanos taking on, what was it again? The Chimp, the Pornographer, Chimp Pornographer, and
Bishop Sycamore High School versus Ukrainian sunflower grandma.
Ooh, boy. Well, we'll see if Cosmic is right and if the headlines think you can take this all the way. But all right, so there you go. That's the glorious tournament of victory. All the votes, the one voting link will be up tomorrow, and we'll take it from there. So there you go.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Good matchup. Good tournament so far.
Indeed.
Right.
Greg, did you watch any baseball this week?
I watched about 10 minutes of a preseason game just to see it. Basically, I think it was Angels Mariners maybe for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. I put the Angels on in the background while I was working the other day.
Didn't pay a lot of
attention.
Hell of a lot of college basketball, more than I
had
at the time. Yeah.
Hey, I gotta say, I was the only person on this podcast that knew of the existence of St. Peter's University before this weekend.
I bet.
My grandfather is an alum of St. Peter's University.
Really?
Where's St. Peter's? The Peacocks have done nothing of note for their entire existence, to be perfectly honest. And then, so I saw that they made the tournament this year, and God bless them, they were going to play Kentucky in the first round. So I called up my grandfather and I was like, hey, your St. Peter's Peacocks, they made the tournament. He's like, oh yeah, the school have been sending me some emails. What are they playing this weekend? I said, they're actually playing today. And he's like, oh, who are they playing? Kentucky. Oh my. But what channel are they on? They're on CBS. TNT? No, CBS. TBS? No, CBS. CBS, like Channel 2? And I was like, yeah. The St. Peter's Peacocks are playing on Channel 2? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh my God, I gotta go tape it. Because he doesn't watch sporting, does not watch sporting events live because he gets home and has dinner and then watches them when it's later. Drives me nuts. But so, and good for him. St. Peter's, the little number 15 seed, scrappy Peacocks at a Jersey City, New Jersey. Knock off Kentucky, knock off Murray State, and they're in a damn Sweet 16 next weekend.
Know, man. That was really cool. I didn't get to see them play at all, but that was really cool. I was glad. I mean,
I watched the end of their game against Kentucky where they went to overtime and Kentucky could not hit a free throw to save its life, but St. Peter's hit all of their free throws and knocked down one clutch 3 in the overtime to take it. It was pretty impressive for the way somebody broke it down was the budgets of the two schools. Like, we've had plenty of upsets. We had a 16-1. St. Peter's was the 15th 15 seed or the 10th 15 seed to ever win. But in terms of like ranking all these upsets, this might be the greatest upset in NCAA tournament history because Kentucky spends 12.5 times more dollars on its men's basketball program than St. Peter's does on its basketball program. Like, John Calipari's salary is like double what St. Peter's pays for its entire program.
Yeah, I mean, that's because who was the 16 that beat the one? Was that school that sounded like it was made up?
UMBC, Maryland, Baltimore County.
Right. And they had a weird name that sounded like something that would like a create a team name. I forget. It was like the
Boston, they were like the Hounds or something.
Boston Terriers or some shit. I don't remember, but yeah.
They knocked off Virginia. Yeah.
Do you guys remember the first 15 to ever knock off a 2 seed?
No.
Was the Richmond Spiders against Syracuse. The first, I'm all excited, right? I'm like, okay, I'm moving to Syracuse, New York, and they got a really good basketball program. I get there, and 3 months later, they get knocked out of the tournament by a 15 seed. I was like, this is unbelievable. But yeah, that was the first time with Richmond Spiders.
Do you fill out a bracket?
Did I? No, I have not.
No, I did not.
No.
I did one for the office. Kind of did it based on pure gut instinct with very little actual information gained by just watching SportsCenter occasionally over the last 3 months. You know how the brackets are split up into 4 regions, obviously. After the first weekend, the rest of 2 of my regions are all red X's. It's not even that I lost 2 Final Four entries. I lost all of the teams in the Sweet 16 in 2 brackets. So I have 2 regions that are still okay. So I'm rooting for Gonzaga and UCLA the rest of the way.
See, I'm not. You know what? I know that Gonzaga's kind of, or they used to be anyway. Maybe not so much anymore. But I hope they don't win. I don't like them. They remind me of Duke for some reason, and I don't know why.
They've never won. I
know, but they're just so.
They finally got to their first title game just last year, and this year they were far and away the best team from start to finish. If there was, I said last year if there was a year for them to win, it was probably last year. But truly, if there is a year for them to win, it is this time. Like, if they don't win this time, they will never win, never. But this is the best thing. I don't know. Together.
I just maybe it's because I don't know. I don't care for them. But I mean, I'd be okay if they won, but I'm not. It's not like I'm rooting for them. They bugged me for some reason. Who was that dude that played for them that cried on the court? That Adam, I forget his name.
Adam Morrison, yeah. Los Angeles Lakers NBA champion. I'll have you know.
Really?
Yeah, he won as like the 11th guy on the bench.
Oh, hold on, I have to sneeze again, boys. Hold on.
Yeah. It's been interesting.
Speaking of the Lakers, really quick though, I got to ask if you watched Winning Time, which should be.
I still haven't gotten to it.
Should be just called Showtime. It's ridiculous that HBO's being this petty about it, but whatever.
I think didn't they? It was originally called Showtime, and then they changed it like at the last minute. Yeah, they changed it within like 3 months of the show premiering. I remember.
Yeah, I think it was. I know the book's called Showtime. The book by what's his name? Roman.
Jeff Pullman. Yeah, again, the show was called Showtime until the very first trailer they put out when they changed the name.
I mean, come on, everybody anybody that knows anything about basketball knows it wasn't fucking Winning Time. That just sounds stupid.
They even do it winning time doesn't sound like anything. Like nobody says that. But in the trailer, or every time there's a commercial for it, you get John C. Reilly's Dr. Buss saying it's Showtime. And it's like, okay, well, they're saying it without saying it, I guess. Right.
I mean, I get it. HBO doesn't want to like be advertising their, one of their main competitors every time they're in a promo for their series. I understand that, but that's also kind of ridiculous. Yeah. But it's, again, like I said last week, it's not, you're not going to mistake it for Breaking Bad or Sopranos or one of the all-time great TV shows, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. It really is. It's, it's how can I describe it? It's like they're not exactly caricatures of who they are really in real life, but they're kind of like amped up versions of all, Buss is John C. Reilly is just killing it as Jerry Buss. I mean, I don't know if that's
well, have you heard the drama about the Buss role?
Yeah, with Will Ferrell and all that.
Yeah, apparently Adam McKay and Will Ferrell their friendship ended because McKay cast John C. Reilly as Dr. Buss.
I'll tell you, after you see it, I mean, maybe Will Ferrell would have been great, but you can't imagine anyone but John C. Reilly playing this part. You just can't.
It's more than just like them picking the part. It's something about like the direction of the show, like because Will Ferrell's a huge Laker fan, and so I think he actually wanted to play this a little bit more like. Maybe I forget if he wanted to play more goofy or more straight. And then Adam McKay's like, no, we want to play a little bit more straight. And so that's why we got John C. Reilly instead of you being like, Will Ferrell to the max.
Right.
And they clashed over the creative decision. And then on top of it, they cast John C. Reilly, who is Will Ferrell's friend. Like that's, and these guys that had a long creative partnership. I mean, Step Brothers, Anchorman, all the whole Gary Sanchez Productions thing. They had a long, creative, successful friendship, and it completely ended over this of all things.
Well, that's too bad. But yeah, because John C. Reilly's great. I don't remember, Dr. Jerry Buss that well. I mean, back then he wasn't on TV like he would be today all the time. But if he just does a great job with it. I mean, he makes him like he's kind of I don't want to say a sleazeball because that's probably overstating it, but he's like a likable miscreant, I guess. I can't think of a better word, but he does a really good job with it. And the dude that plays Magic Johnson, what's his name again? Something I can't remember his name now, but he's fantastic. I mean, he absolutely embodies Magic. And Solomon Hughes, who plays Kareem, does a really good job. Again, they're all like kind of like overstated versions of who they really are. Like they make Jerry West like a total fucking psycho, and I know this is not the truth, but it's fun. You should absolutely watch it. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't look at it as a historical document, but it's very, very entertaining. It's really good. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get to it. I just haven't had the time to get to it. Just
it's
busy.
A TV for me right now. I can't wait for Sundays when it comes out. The new episode comes out. But anyway, back to the college basketball. Yeah, I watched more of it than I have in a long, long time this year, and. Did you guys? Speaking of that, did you guys see the Arizona last night? The dunk that almost won the game, but like he was a little too late. Like if he had done a finger roll or something, it would have won the game. And
I didn't watch the game last night, but I heard that there was some controversy.
Yeah,
in the officiating.
No, there always is. Oh, geez, hold on. This is all right. I think I can hold this one off, but.
Yeah, I heard that there was some controversy over that over the officiating in that game.
I don't know. I didn't watch much of that one. I was watching. My cousin's a big Purdue fan, so I was watching Purdue play Texas. And but I watched a lot of the conference tournaments too. I don't know what got me into basketball this year. Well, it started because the Toledo Rockets were in the MAC tournament, and they were like the number one seed, and I started watching that. And then I'm like, oh, I enjoy watching the little schools play more than the big ones. I think it's just, I get a bigger kick out of that. But God. Anyway, what else we got? Oh, was it Chaos Blast about 2 hours ago? Asked about the hockey, the trade deadline in the NHL.
Oh yeah, I figured we'd get to it at some point because today was the deadline.
You guys do that for a minute, and I'll go off here so I can try to get the sneeze out of my system.
An interesting deadline, especially for me, considering the Ducks had been the center. They were basically the trade bait pool. Started with the Ducks. Started last week when they trade Josh Manson to Colorado. Hampus Lindholm gets traded over the weekend to Boston for a pretty big haul, and then Rickard Rakell gets traded today to Pittsburgh. So the rebuild is getting kicked into high gear, something that should have been done years ago. But Bob Murray was awful in so many ways, as we learned when he got suspended and fired earlier this year.
I'll be right back, guys. Carry this without me. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
All right.
Now, if you want, I guess just I did not expect Joe Sakic to be this good of a GM.
Yeah,
he's kind of going for it.
Yeah, I mean, getting Josh Manson, I think, was big for their depth. They got Lehkonen and Cogliano today, which again just helps their depth, makes them a stronger team. They're already the best team in the West by like a decent margin, and I think it's a thing of they've been pretty good for the last couple of years, and they've gone down in blazes the last couple playoffs.
Yeah,
so I think it's a thing where they think we got to make sure 100% that we're going to do it this time.
Yeah, this is kind of it. If this team like burns out, then it's like, what are you even doing? But this Avs team is scary good.
Very good. Yeah,
the Penguins refuse to die.
Penguins refuse to die. I think Rickard Rakell is going to be a huge boost to them because now they can kind of solidify their Crosby line instead of like moving things around and then put. I think they're saying they want to put Rakell on the wing with Evgeny Malkin, and Rakell has had a couple down years, but I mean, you put him with a guy like Malkin, and it should work.
Oh yeah.
It's just it's weird because the East playoff picture has been settled for weeks now. Like the Islanders are like a hard charging team trying to get near the playoff picture, but they're not going to get anywhere close to it. So now it's just a matter of
was that was such a mirage, maybe that brief period of the Islanders' resurgence where they just couldn't get it done?
No, I think this year is the throwaway of it all, because they started off the year with that 13-game road trip.
Yes,
the arena wasn't done.
Yes,
and then the goaltending hasn't been very good this year, which is uncharacteristic, and they started off so bad that they need to get out of this hole. And then on top of that, when they finally got back to their home arena, they played awful in this brand new arena, so they don't have a very good home record either. So,
well, I remember that they lost their opener to Calgary, and then I remember they lost to the Leafs, which sent a bunch of Islanders fans over the edge because of the whole Tavares thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh man, like, is everything okay on Long Island? You guys doing all right? It's like, no! Like, oh, okay. But, yeah.
Yeah, your Leafs, most people were looking for them to make a goaltending acquisition today. They didn't really.
No, they didn't, which, I mean, to be perfectly honest, after last season, I'm kind of like, my following of hockey has been very, I don't want to say it's been non-existent. It's been very laid back.
As it probably should be, because like, what the hell? The Leafs are going to make the playoffs. No need to get mad about them for.
No, exactly.
If you're going to pay attention at all.
Exactly. I'll get mad when they inevitably, lose in the first round.
Yeah, they did Giordano yesterday, which I thought is a pretty good move for them.
Yeah,
bolster that decor.
I mean, legitimately, if they had traded a bag of pucks for a few extra cones, it would have boosted that decor. But that the least, it's like I feel so sorry for Morgan Riley. It's like him and some guys from the local rink. It's not a good situation, but they didn't make a huge blockbuster trade, but they did fix like the most glaring issue. So it is. The Leafs. It is what it is. Like the Leafs are pretty much locked in their playoff spot, like you said, Zach. They've been in that spot for months now. So
they're gonna come down to Tampa.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
That'll be exciting. I'll be able to watch some Leafs Leafs Lightning games.
You just go to the rink in a blue T-shirt and just cheer for both teams' goals.
Well, no. My goal is to wear a Leafs jersey and then still get into the restricted areas because they're not going to know the difference.
Well, if you wear your black Leafs jersey that you've got on order.
Oh my God! So that's the thing. Like, from my personal sense of fandom, this was like the wrong year to fucking drop lists because like I'm already pissed off at this team. I'm already like I'm not even gonna pay attention. Like fuck you guys and you're
for those that don't know, there was they're advertising. I think it's like a jersey they're gonna wear for one whole game.
They've been hyping up the game this Wednesday is what the one they're because the 23rd. I don't know why.
Next gen game, which is going to be they're going to wear their New Jersey against New Jersey. Oh, God. So basically, it's just a black jersey with some blue accents and a blue leaf? Is it even blue?
No, it's black.
The leaf is black. Oh, boy.
So from what I can tell, and it's really frustrating because the only pictures we see are like some teasers on Twitter and then one picture of Justin fucking Bieber.
Bieber on Martha Stewart's Instagram.
Which is where this stupid thing was leaked. And it's a black jersey. My guess, just based off everything we've seen, is that the template, it's probably your standard Leafs template. Like the home, it's the striping's all the same, only it's blue on black. The numbers appear to be black on black with thick white outlines, which I'm sure the TV guys are going to love that. And then the logo is a black Leafs logo on a black jersey with white highlights.
With contrasting white stitching.
With contrasting white to represent the craftsmanship of Toronto, I'm sure.
The thing that's also fun as I'm flipping through the Mothership article, this will the Leafs with wearing this jersey in this game on Wednesday, the Leafs will have worn 5 different jerseys in 5 consecutive games.
Yeah. They were the. So I figured out. I found the reason why they put that stupid Phantom Arenas text.
Oh, was it to preview these?
No. So basically, there were 2 arena jerseys. There was the second arenas jersey is the one that they had previously done throwback of. It's got the multiple white stripes on each sleeve, and it's got the T for the logo that says arenas across it.
Yeah, the Aretinas.
The first arenas jersey is a much simpler jersey. It's blue with like whites, like one single white stripe on each arm and the waist, and it's got just a standard blue T on the chest. And that's the one that they wanted to throw back to this time because they had already thrown back to the last one. The problem is that they couldn't trademark just a block T. So they had to throw the arenas bit on it so they could trademark it.
That's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
because when
the best part was when I saw pictures of the arena or the stadium, the logo they had to use on the scoreboard, it was the blue T with blue arenas next to it.
Yep, because
that's what the logo was for the game.
The NHL owns all of the retro marks and like allots them to the appropriate teams. The NHL owns the trademark for the arenas logo that is the T with the arenas text. They don't own a trademark for just the T, and they can't get one because it's just a block T.
Wow.
So they had to put the Phantom Arenas lettering there, so to stop counterfeiters.
Full marks, Toronto. But yeah, they wore the heritage jerseys on March 13th, normal home jerseys on March 15th, the St. Pat's throwbacks on St. Patrick's Day.
Of course.
The white jerseys for the regular road game against Nashville, and then they're gonna wear these black things on Wednesday. So
the black ones are as close as we're ever going to get to Maple Leafs with a Z, isn't it?
Well, see, that's the thing, right? Like, if you want to do the gimmick of like next gen Toronto Maple Leafs, like throw back to that stupid fucking idea from the '90s. Bring back like the Ballard leaf with the blue graffiti text that says like Maple Leafs with like probably 3 Zs at the end. And I've said before that if this team had actually fucking done that for the '90s, like it would have created a butterfly effect. Really, actually did win the Stanley Cup at some point in that run, and then like the most recent Stanley Cup banner would be that stupid graffiti logo. But
well, you always know that when the team wins, like never wins, they're going to do it their dumbest fucking jersey.
No, exactly. You know what? I should be happy that this black jersey exists now, because this probably guarantees that they're going to win the Stanley Cup, and this will probably be the jersey that they win it in. And it's going to be like, yes, the long 50-plus year drought is over, and we're going to have to watch John Tavares lift the cup in this stupid black Maple Leafs jersey, and it's like, fuck. You might as well just put it right next to LeBron James of the NBA championship trophy in that stupid black T-shirt. Like,
oh my god! Speaking of stupid shit, the Jackets came out with this big like, wait till you see what we're doing next, and it was just basically selling an ad on the fucking jersey.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the meeting of 2 brands, and I was like, oh, are they releasing some sort of weird mashup jersey? And no.
Safe Light Auto Glass.
This thing is so disgusting. It's like, okay, we knew this was happening when they put ads on the helmets. We knew it was going to okay.
And the jersey ads are coming next season. But the Blue Jackets, and then the Blue Jackets are only the second team to actually announce their sponsor for next season already. It was the Capitals did it like 6 months ago.
Yeah, but the stupid fucking Blue Jackets. Like, I'm sorry, like in the pantheon of NHL expansion teams, the Blue Jackets are by far not an egregious one. Like, they're not the fucking Golden Knights where you just want to see them experience suffering.
They've experienced plenty.
Yeah, they've experienced plenty. The Blue Jackets, they've paid their dues. Their fans have paid their dues. I like the Blue Jackets.
It's a small miracle that they still exist, to be
exactly
honest.
It's a little bit more than small, but yeah, you're right.
Sure. But this is just so enraging for them to be like, guys, we're gonna do something real special, guys. Oh, what is it? We put an ad on the jersey, guys. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm waiting for like I'm thinking this will be cool to put the roundel with the cannon on like the regular blue jerseys. That might look neat. I don't know. And then it's like, what? Safe Light out. I mean, and it's not even whatever.
I mean, Safe Light is based out of Columbus, is something I learned.
They couldn't have fucking like collaborated with the Cavs and gotten like a Goodyear sponsorship.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're going to do a sponsorship, at least do it for something that at least like make it Cheerios or some shit. I mean, for fuck's sake.
In theory, it's well, I guess here's a way to look at it. They're a company based out of Columbus, okay. And what surrounds a hockey rink?
Glass.
Okay, well, that's like some Nike stretch right there, Zach. Come on.
I mean, if when they break the glass, they're going to say, "Oh, this glass repair is brought to you by Safe Light."
Yeah,
and there you go. Right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I will say,
look, we're gonna get 30 more of these between now and
we're gonna get 30 more. I'm dreading this. Like there are people going like, oh, what are the best ads for each team? It's like no ads. Right. Stop it. Like, and it's infuriating because this shit happened. The COVID season, right, where they were like, we need to have helmet sponsors to offset the fact that we can't sell tickets. It's like you knew that they were not going to get rid of those helmet ads, start letting fans back.
The thing that's going to drive me nuts is the decision. I think a lot of NHL fans are going to have a big decision to make between now and September. Are you going to continue to buy jerseys? Or if you want a team's jersey right now, it might be best for you to get it right now.
Yeah, get stockpile it now.
Or you're going to see a lot of people do what they're doing with the New Era hats, where they're just going to take the ads off. You know?
Yeah, but
that's risky,
you would
though.
think that, but like they started putting the ads on the NBA jersey, and I think we all had the question then, well, like, are American fans really going to buy the NBA jerseys with the thing? And sure enough, like the ones they sell in the stores are the ones with the ads on them, so you don't really have a choice.
I know, like Lordo's, I have enough Leafs jerseys. I'm gonna get 1 or 2 more just before the season ends. I gotta stock up before.
I mean, I hadn't really considered it for the Ducks because it's like I would hope that they'll probably change their jerseys in a year or two. But like the other thing that's interesting, and it will again put fans in a bind, is the return or the second wave of the reverse retros are coming next year.
Yeah,
and I would assume those are all going to have the ads on them. Like the Blue Jackets said, it will be on their home, away, third, and retro jerseys next year.
So as far as the ads go, this reverse retro thing kind of brought something to mind. You know what? If they're going to do the ads, they can at least go lean right into the concept when they do reverse retros. I want retro versions of the ad logos in reverse color schemes. And for throwbacks, I want straight retro logos. Even if the brand's logo for the appropriate time period would be racist, you gotta fucking do it.
Why not, right?
Yeah. I will say at least for the Blue Jacket stake.
Always wanting the accuracy, historical accuracy, right, Mike?
Yeah. At least for the Blue Jacket sake, and I believe the Capitals sake too, neither of them have shown off a contrasting like patch yet. At least they're doing them in team colors. Like on the blue jersey, it's white stitching, and on the white jersey, it's red stitching. So it's small enough to where it's not going to be a huge eyesore. But that's
how it starts, and then
I know, and it's just 2 of them. We'll see what happens when we get to when Vegas throws an MGM patch on the front of their fucking jerseys.
I guarantee you, like one of the most upsetting ones is going to be Boston, because Jeremy Jacobs is a greedy son of a bitch who doesn't fucking care about his team's legacy.
Have you seen? I think you don't have to look any further than the Providence Bruins with their Dunkin' Donuts patch.
Oh yeah,
have you ever seen that? It's just like a white square with the Dunkin' logo, just thrown on a black jersey or whatever.
They make no attempt to integrate it at all. Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah.
I was watching the NASCAR race yesterday, and I thought, why doesn't because obviously there's like everything's for sale. It's all advertisements all over the whole car. I thought, why doesn't that bother me like it does on a jersey? Because I'm used to it. I mean, it was always like this. So hold on.
I think it has to do with the the concept of certain sports have certain.
Yeah, it's the culture.
Yeah.
I don't like when I buy a Manchester United jersey. I don't like. I take into consideration a little bit of the ad that's on the front. Like I made sure, like when for years I didn't buy a couple Man U jerseys because 1, they were just bad, and 2. The sponsor was just like some company. It's like I didn't know what the hell that was.
Well, the Chevy years were hilarious.
Right. The Chevy years were funny, but they also had a very nice jersey template that came out one year. And I was like, for one thing, like for once, the logo, the colors of this company sort of match up with the colors of the team. So that's the one I own. And then I bought one for this year, but it's like the company that's on the front, I don't know what the hell it is. Team Viewer, I don't know what that is. I don't think it's a thing here in the United States, but it exists. Whereas on the other hand, there's like I got a Real Madrid jersey as a gift once, and it has the Fly Emirates Airlines on the front of it. And it's like that's kind of weird. I feel weird with that on the front of the jersey, but
yeah, I'd love to fly Emirates Airlines though. Like if I had the money.
Oh sure, it looks great. But oil money.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
We've seen where that gets us.
And slave labor. Just saying.
Yeah, 10 grand. You get a pretty good flight on that airline, man. You got like a bed, your own office, the whole thing. It's pretty cool. Chaos Blast brings up a good point. I thought about this. What the league should do. If you're going to have ads on the jerseys that the fans have to buy, make the ones with the ads cheaper. That only seems fair to me. Why should I pay more to advertise?
Yeah.
your company? You know what I mean?
Well, right, but the idea is that the company paid money to be on the jersey, so you're going to put them on the jersey. I think.
Yeah, but if you don't want it, like if you want it without, then you pay more. It's simple. And if you get the ad, you pay less. That
That's why soccer jerseys are sold how they're sold, because if you're a brand that buys, like, you're the jersey sponsor, and now you get people to buy the jerseys, and all of a sudden you're a walking billboard for that company.
Yeah.
Also the thing about soccer is that the justification for jersey ads was that, unlike other sports, soccer does not have commercials in game, and so the idea was that teams in the league don't, they can't advertise during the games because there are no commercial breaks, so the jersey ads make up for that.
Well, and the other thing with soccer too is you have to remember that, and this is why it's the way that we're doing it here in American sports is pure capitalism, whereas
of course, because
but in Europe, all these teams started off as just local clubs. They weren't professional entities until much later. Yeah. So the idea of a jersey sponsor was literally like your kid's little league baseball team.
Yeah, it was a group of guys. They started a local football team, and they got like and they got the sponsor from the local.
Right, a local company would sponsor the team so they could afford to buy their jerseys or rent field time or whatever it was, and then it just something that's stuck as it become a professional entity, and now it's an advertising opportunity that's grown and grown. Whereas in America, we've just never had that, and so now this is pure money making versus it's money making in soccer, but it came up organically. Whereas this is just let's slap a logo on it.
This is the America wouldn't do it any other way.
And like I see, yes, that's to see how the CFL does it, and maybe the Canadian teams might have a little bit more pushback, but that's not going to change. Like,
no,
that's not going to matter to the NHL. They want their money, and if part of the contract says that you get the jersey, your logo gets to go in the replicas, then that's what it is. We'll see, because I think we mentioned it before that of all the major sports, the hockey jersey is the one where people are going to fight you more on it than if you slap a logo on a basketball jersey or even a football jersey. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, like as far as wearing jerseys by correlation to sport or whatever, hockey's by far and away the jersey sport. Yeah.
I haven't looked.
NFL is too, but like the hockey, it's a whole different animal with hockey, I think.
Have you noticed if they've put them on the baseball replicas yet?
I haven't looked. I don't know,
because they're allowed to start doing that this year, right? Where they can put the patches on the jerseys.
I'm sure it's baseball. Of course they will.
Well, I know they can put them on the batting helmets, but they agreed on the jersey part too, didn't they?
I'm not sure. I think it's gonna be a sleeve thing in baseball, right? Like it's not gonna be on like the front of the jersey, like the Nike swoosh is,
right?
I've said it a million times. You know what? If it meant making the game more affordable for fans, I'd have a lot less objections to advertising on jerseys and stuff. But that's not going to happen, especially not here. So I have an issue with you're already. I mean, what did we talk about the Bucks last week? They're like the 21st most valuable franchise, and it's like $3.9 billion or some shit. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on, how much fucking?
But I mean, that's kind of the thing, and to be fair, this hasn't happened in the NFL yet. But when like the 21st most valuable franchise in the NFL is worth multiple billions of dollars, it kind of rings hollow when they then say, "Hey, we need jersey sponsors to make ends meet." It's like, no, fuck you. No, you don't.
Well, maybe the Browns do, because they used all the money in Cleveland.
I would buy that. It's like, we literally spent all the money in Cleveland on Deshaun Watson. We need jersey ads.
Yeah, it's like I mean, like the fucking Guardians. Nobody's gonna be able to afford to go see them now. They're gonna have to fold the team.
Oh no.
I was looking on, speaking of the Guardians and uniforms and all that, I was trying to find like the gas station logo hat. I can't find it anywhere on MLB.
Apparently they're coming, is what I've heard. Like they're not selling any yet.
Okay, because I've seen them, like Walmart has them already, but they're the broke ass Walmart hats. You don't want one of those.
No, I want at least a 47 brand.
Yeah, I've seen them on hats. It looks good. I like it, but because the C's okay, it's like fine. It just looks like a kind of a variation of the old one, but I want the gas station logo, man. That's what I want. So I do, but it's going to be weird.
Yeah. Well, speaking of MLB uniforms, look, we got to talk about these spring training hats.
What? At the sunburnt?
Like I hadn't even considered that part. I just when they announced, because I remember when they announced the spring training hats, at the time we were in the middle of the lockout, so we were like, oh, look at this spring training merchandise that they're never even going to wear, so we didn't even think about it, or I didn't give it too much of a thought. But the trucker hat look is awful. It looks, all these hats look stupid. And then what they didn't take into account, of course, is that the sun's still going to get through mesh.
Yeah.
And so you got some players that have shaved their heads or bald or whatever, and it's resulted in some interesting tan lines.
I could have told. I bought a Harley hat a couple of years ago. That's
sure,
it's mesh in the back, and the front's normal. But when you ride, you have to flip it around; it'll fly off because the wind will get under the bill of the hat, and off it goes. Yeah. So I come home and I take off the hat. And it's like I've got like a polka dotted forehead from where the sun had been shining through, and like the wind was blowing through in the mesh. So yeah, I could have told.
I've worn a snapback backwards, and then you get the weird half moon sunburn on your forehead. I just, when you do something like this where you have to change the structural integrity of the cap, like this isn't just a fashion statement. Like you had to make the hat differently than you normally do. It doesn't seem like they put a whole lot of thought into that part of it.
No, and it's a spring training too, especially in Arizona this time of year where there's not going to be
Arizona, Florida. Like, come on.
Yeah, there's not a cloud in the sky for days, and these poor guys are out there. They're gonna look like Brainiac from the old Superman comics with the
funny. Just so funny. Like,
and they're all bad too. Like the designs,
they're all bad. They're so bad.
Yeah,
they're all like color on color, which is already bad enough. But like the mesh looks terrible. Like beyond the sunburn part of it, it just looks like crap. It looks
also,
like crap.
I remember when the trucker hat fad was a thing, and
I was like 15 years late.
I was like 15 at the time, so I don't know what they're going for.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're doing this now. This is. I don't know if they're. I mean, I haven't seen one in person to like check the inside, but I have to imagine that they're not comfortable if they're mesh.
Yeah,
like especially if you're, because the other thing with mesh is like, yes, it lets the sun through, but if you're somebody that has a slightly too long buzz cut or something, the hair pokes through the holes. That's why I never got into the trucker hat phase, because at the time, or even now, like when I get my hair cut, it's pretty short on the sides, or in high school and earlier, I would have a full buzz. And when I would put on one of those trucker hats, I could feel my hair poking through all the holes in the hat, and it felt so weird and bad, and I didn't like it, so I never had one. And
I've only got the Harley hat, and I got to be honest, I hardly ever wear it. I bought it because I liked the logo, the way the logo looked on the front of it, but it looked distressed looking. It was kind of cool, but I don't like the hat at all. And it's a trucker hat basically. It's like a 3930 cross with the trucker hat. It's a flex fit, but it's got the whole mesh.
The thing that's also interesting as I'm reading through the Mothership article here, there's several players that have actually worn meshless versions of the hat.
Okay.
Like Justin Verlander is just wearing a regular hat in this picture that they have, no mesh.
Well, I don't blame him. I mean, your head's going to get cooked. Like I said, man, that the sun, especially this time of year in Florida and Arizona, it's bright and it ain't going anywhere. But yeah, it was funny though, seeing the striping pattern on that dude's head. Who was that player? Do we even know who it was?
I have it open. It was a White Sox player.
Sorry.
Jake Berger of the White Sox.
Okay.
Third baseman.
I don't know who that is, but I mean, I've heard his name, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, we got anything else, fellas? I'm running out of gas here.
No, I got nothing big.
The only other thing I want to bring up, we kind of got sidetracked. That's all right, though. I just wanted to point out, from the NHL trade deadline.
Okay.
Ron Francis and the Seattle Kraken stockpiled 34 draft picks.
God damn, really?
I mean, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have the Vegas Golden Knights inaugural season sort of success.
Thank fucking God.
So they're, God forbid, trying to build the bones of a franchise and move forward. But because you mentioned the Golden Knights as a juxtaposition, if the playoffs were to start today, let me pull this up. If the playoffs were to start today and we went on points percentage, not points, because everything's not exactly equal right now, the Vegas Golden Knights would miss the playoffs after trading for Jack Eichel, and
which is just. Oh, and by the way, can we say fuck the Golden Knights for that? For that fucking the darkest day in franchise history. Go fuck yourselves.
That was come on.
The Vegas fan blog Sinbin said that the recent loss to Buffalo was a low point in franchise history, and guess what? They only kept losing. Like, yeah. Let me pull up their schedule.
Are you seriously going to say that losing a regular season game to the fucking Buffalo Sabres is the lowest point in your franchise history? Go fuck yourselves.
So they were, that was the second game of a 5-game road trip where they lost every single game of the road trip. And in each game, they allowed more goals than they did in the game previous. So the first game in Philly, they gave up 2 goals. Against Buffalo, they gave up 3. Pittsburgh, 5. Columbus, 6. Winnipeg, 7. So they lost 5 in a row. Then they come back and, of course, beat the Eastern Conference leading Panthers 5-3, and then beat a team they're trailing in the Western Conference playoff standings, the Kings, 5-1. So maybe they've got back on track. But oh no, they're losing 1-0 to Minnesota right now. So
I really hope that after all that, all that shit to get Jack Eichel, that this is what sends the wheels coming off. Like,
yeah, they've had a lot of injuries to be sure, but just like this franchise deserves this, and this fan base needs it.
No, this fan base needs a good 10 years of them just being the suck.
Yeah, because when you think that the regular season loss is the lowest point in your history, that's a bit.
It's like, yeah, guess what, Vegas? My team was up 3-1 against their most, storied rival last year in the playoffs. And then they ended up losing. All right. So you want to talk about
this was last year, Mike, or this was a couple years ago, or
no, this was last season when they lost to the Canadiens in the
sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. I thought we were talking about the Bruins loss.
No. They lost the Canadiens.
Jesus Christ.
They were, and so you want to talk about low points in franchise history?
Oh, I know.
Vegas.
To be sure, look, for a team that has never missed the playoffs in their franchise's history, missing the playoffs would be a low point. So,
you know what? I mean, that like, sorry, Mike, I hate to bring this up. I really do. I know I'm not, but that fucking loss to the Bruins a few years back with the Leafs. I mean, that was such a gut punch. I remember it, and I'm not a fan of either team. That's a low point for a franchise. Fuck Vegas. You lost to Buffalo in the middle of March. Go fuck yourselves. I'm sorry. Please.
Yeah, no.
It's not even the Golden Knights, like specifically. That fan blog Sinbin has always been like that. It's one of the most obnoxious
franchise history. Fuck off.
Obnoxious things on hockey Twitter. It's the worst. And the only unfortunate thing was as time has gone on, the competition in this has gone down a little bit, but it looked like for a while that the final playoff spots in the West were going to be between Edmonton or Vegas. And so it's a matter of, because Dallas has 3 games in hand on Vegas and could catch them and stuff like that. But what would be funnier if the Oilers missed the playoffs with Connor McDavid again, and Connor McDavid, asked for a trade out of Edmonton because goddamn, please free him.
I do want to say he wanted to be a Leaf. Losers. He wanted to be a Leaf.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, Connor McDavid is the Mike Trout of hockey.
Yeah,
pretty much. Like, if the Oilers, it looks like the Oilers are starting to solidify themselves into a playoff spot. So I don't think
the thing about it is that they started the season on fire.
Yeah,
and then they just,
Yeah. No, and the worst thing is, of course, that their blood rivals Calgary have run away with the Pacific Division as of now, and I mean they have.
Congratulations to Chaos Blast, by the way. I know he's a Flames fan.
Yeah, plus 66 goal differential. Daryl Sutter reviving the Flames in their
and your goalie. I can't think of his first name. Markstrom. how Gary's
Jacob
going.
Markstrom.
Guys, fucking carrying me in our fantasy hockey league, man. I mean, that dude. We are
and they're doing it in beautiful throwbacks.
Oh my God, yes, yeah.
They look great.
Which just to anyone named Morgo who might be listening, go fuck yourself. And because that red and black shit was trash.
Oh, how can you look at that if you think that they had a better look than what they're wearing right now?
Morgo got into a huge thing about the he was dying on the hill about how the Flames looked better in the red and black look.
No, they don't.
And it didn't lead to his suspension, but
no, but it should have.
Well, it got him all riled up to the point that when someone else disagreed with him about another thing, he was like, "Fuck everyone." It's like, "Oh, okay, buddy."
Okay, well, all right then. Sure, no problem. All right, anything?
Yeah, here's the Vegas missing the playoffs for the fun of it all.
That would be
especially because like if they miss the playoffs, well, like the Ducks kind of helped them out in this regard in terms of the salary cap today by taking on getting that enough, but they're still going to be up against the cap no matter what, and they don't have the draft picks to properly, reinfuse the franchise, and they're losing that cup window is probably already closed.
Well, when they first came into the league, with their approach, we talked about this. We're like, this will succeed for a little while, but long term, you're looking at some lean years, and I think we're about to get there,
which will be just good.
But you want to know what? Given this fan base, they're going to miss the playoffs this year, and they're going to have we are in mourning,
off again,
and they're all going to wear black armbands or some shit.
They can fuck off. All of them.
They're going to make a show of it. Just watch.
Yeah. Anyway, we got anything else, fellas? I am completely out of energy here at this point. So, I will say this to anybody that's listening, and I'm sure that there's no one in our audience that hasn't done this, but if you haven't been vaccinated yet, I would consider it a very good idea to do so. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, and maybe if you get vaccinated, you can play for the Brooklyn Nets.
Well, someone pointed out that if they end up playing the Raptors in the first round of the NBA playoffs,
he wouldn't be allowed
to play in anything.
He wouldn't be allowed in Canada.
Oh wow! But to be fair to Kyrie Irving, I mean, the fact that he could go watch that fucking game but he couldn't play in it was just absurd. Just absurd. I'm sorry, that was ridiculous.
I agree that's not. I mean, as long as he tests negative, I don't know what the problem is, but
yeah,
anyway,
but you know what? Though,
that's the rules, I guess, and it's just a bad look for everyone else. Kind of like,
I just love the stories coming out about the Harden trade, about just how Harden was hating Kyrie near the end there, Kyrie's weird seances before games and shit. It's just what's going on.
You mean James Harden couldn't get behind the flat Earth theory?
Well, apparently, Kyrie Irving was going to he was lighting sage and doing Hindu chants before games, cleanse the evil spirits or some shit.
You know why? It's when they travel, if they travel too far north or south, they get too close to the edge of the earth. He's covering all his bases. He doesn't want to fall off.
That's why instead of wearing a fat suit like he did in Houston, James Harden just showed up dressed as the Cosmic Turtle one day, and
all right. Anyway, on that note, we're gonna call it a night, folks. Vote for your favorite in the Final Four in the Glorious Tournament of Victory. We'll have the links and stuff up tomorrow. Follow us at Basically Sports on Twitter. Subscribe via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, the YouTubes, and wherever fine podcasting is sold. Hopefully, I will sound and feel better next week. And until then, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you around.
Adios.
Say it.